Welcome back to another episode on the Create-O-Holics server. In the last one, we made this massive clock tower, this whole thing in one episode, just so we could cover up. Let me see if I can scoot in. How did I get here? Just so we could cover up this ugly little shoot tower that goes all the way up to Y level 256, so we can make an item that will drop infinite other items all the time. And I think it turned out really well. Y'all had some amazing suggestions about adding some ruin bits over on this side so that we can kind of explain what used to be, whatever massive thing used to be connected to this, over here where it is now broken off. But we're not working on that today. As you can see from the title, we are building more train lines, and we have, at least in our area of Escargaria, a good setup here where we have our train lines going around, wrapping around kind of the base of this mountain here, all the way until we get to here-ish, where we kind of just ended these two lines here, and the rest of the train line is not really functional, looks ugly, and is in the middle of the water, which we can't have. So I'm thinking we kind of do what we did here, where we add in, or maybe move our train lines so that they're off to the side, terraform everything so that it looks good like what we have here, but maybe a little bit better, and then get them all connected up. We really only have one train line that loops around the whole map, and we can check on our map here. Yeah, so our train line currently loops down here, around through here, down here, connects up with Bubby's base, through here, connects up with the Hamiltown, where Madden, Ross, and Charlie are, and then back up to where we are right now. And as you can see, in some of these areas, we're only using one track the whole way down here, so we need to fix all of this. So the first thing we need to do is go around the whole thing, take, I'm gonna say this train track here, and have it go loop around the whole thing, so that we know that this is the outside track, that it looks good, and that it'll fit. And then we are going to use a bunch of train automation to lay down this track and make sure that it's level and parallel and equal to this track here. This is going to take quite a lot of terraforming and prep work, so let's get straight into it. The first phase of this train track process is going to deal with the space leading from my base all the way to Hamiltown. This kind of loopy thing follows the river and is currently just over the river itself. For this, we are moving it onto the side of the river where it'll look a little bit better and be way easier to terraform. To do that though, we needed to terraform quite a bit of the river, tear down a lot of these like land bridges across the river in total, but then we were able to start laying down tracks. This process took so long because we first needed to terraform the area, including that little river that you saw me dig out, and then we needed to get in the track, and getting this thing in without having like super tough right angles was so difficult. You could see me probably at every turn breaking and replacing and redoing about 5 or 6 times every set of these tracks because I just was not good at getting them to connect properly. The second half of track that we have to lay down goes from the Sons of Durin down at the south all the way through the hilly valleys and frozen peaks up until the tundra where it connects back up with the tunnel to Escargaria. This in and of itself is about 3,000 blocks. So in total, the area that we need to do is close to 5,000. We started with the south side tracks just by, again, laying down tracks, digging out an area for the track to go. This part was quite difficult since we needed to not only have good curves, but we needed to increase in height as well. You can see we're going into the mountains here, and I think it would be really cool if we have our train kind of looking over the valley itself, which is something that Fimir did in one of his most recent videos on the Create-O-Holics server, so I wanted to kind of mimic that here as well. After that, we head back up to the north side where we're using some automated train machines to dig out and terraform the land around it and dig enough space for our second set of tracks. This part was a lot simpler, even though you can see here it's glitching out like crazy. We were able to mine out a good enough area for this north side, and then I did a similar process on the south side. But that's enough talking in a time-lapse mode. Let's get back to the server. And with that, we have both sets of tracks in and working officially as best as I can get them for right now. We do still need to wait to Madden for a little bit of the stuff over there because he is magical, and I'll explain how and why. But we officially have 2 sets of tracks going around the entire place and looking kind of okay. We still need to do a lot of cleaning up around the area, and that's what we're going to get into in a second, but I wanted to show you everything that we've done in the 6 minutes that this video has been going on. This is all new. This whole track system all new until we get to right about over here, where it then connects up with the existing tracks going to Hamilton and that area here. Then we need to fly about 100 million miles over this way until we get over to Bubby's base, which is kind of just the train central, and we get over here. This is the part that I haven't done, and I need Man's help because I don't know how he's done this. And I can show you this train track is so perfectly straight. I don't know how he did it. It looks like, right, that he just like placed a train track here and then connected it up to this one. But this train track is in between two blocks. So he didn't put it right here. And if I try to do it, it's a weird angle and direction, so it doesn't work like that. I'm gonna show you what you kind of have to do and then show you why it's not gonna work. Well, maybe not why it's not gonna work. I just don't know why it's not working. So I need Madden to do it for us. But I'm gonna try something a little bit forward here and then connect it up. Obviously right now, these are not at all level, which is the opposite of what we want. But I'm 2 blocks ahead here. The reason I'm so confident is because I was trying this last night and I needed to phone a friend, and even Bubby was like, I got no clue. I was not capable enough at this for this type of work. But let's see it now. Oh, bro, it's like a millimeter too tall. Okay, that means we need to, let's do it right there. I think that means we just need to scooch it back a singular block. And then if we connect it this way, it's still a block too tall. Okay, third try. Oh, I might have done it. I would say that is done it for this little bit. But now we need to do this, and I really don't, like, I'm guessing this was a block that I placed. I'm guessing he put a block there, but I have no idea. It's so confusing. I bet right here is the place to put this block, and for some reason it's the block before the block that I think it is. But with that logic, we should see me get an identical slope to what we just have, and it work flawlessly with no flaws whatsoever. And the goal, yeah, is to have that be correct. Okay, and of course, this current one is not going to be correct until we connect it up to something else, so I'm not yet worried about that. Oh, the half block is here, so I want to place it in front of the half block. So I'm thinking there. Is this how he did it? I don't know how he did it in the first place, but I can copy him. It's like I'm looking at the Mona Lisa and being like, ah, it's easy peasy. Now, that should be the same height. Oh, I'm a gamer. Shout out General Ross in the Discord, where I was like, I need an adult, please, and he was like, surely it's just something this simple, and it kind of almost close, yeah. But now we got it. So now I can connect it up to this thing, and this was the final bit that we needed to do. But let me show you the cool in the mountains ride that we're gonna have set up. Well, it's set up now, but looking pretty soon. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of how this turns out. We slowly increase in height up until we get to this clearing where we're gonna be building a bridge later in this episode, and then we continue on through the ice and spiky peaks that are honestly super cool. I don't know how we're gonna make this look good, but we'll do it. This is one of many instances where we are going to need to remove a bunch of floating blocks here, but that'll be done in a time lapse once we get to it. But I'm really liking the andesite underneath. I think we're going to be able to mesh that in with the land below it pretty easily. And then we get back into the taiga, the spruce forests, where again, some floating trees that we'll need to remove. And then we connect it up all the way back with the tunnel to Escargaria that we made quite a while ago now. And then we are back to things that are already completed. So we have a lot of work to do. I'm gonna start just with terraforming and cleaning up everything. And then we're gonna get to building up any bridges or building up any of the kind of supports for underneath where the train is going to connect it up with the remainder of the building there. I mean, I still can't get over how good this thing looks as we fly by it. But we're going to start this whole setup over on the north side. This side is going to be a little bit easier, but it is going to be more terraforming work, mostly in this area here. I'm really not sure what I want to do, if I want to build a retaining wall, which I actually might. I think that could look really cool. A retaining wall here made entirely of andesite, I think would be super epic and would be way easier than trying to terraform this. And I feel like it would make sense for that to be the setup that we have. So I'm thinking we dig out this little area, have it drop back a little bit, and yeah, these are gonna have to go. We're gonna work on all of that, and then we're gonna get to terraforming the wall, probably build a retaining wall with some sort of gradient. I'm not sure. We'll see it in a few seconds when we get to our second time lapse of the episode. So let's get to beautifying. And with that little time lapse, the terraforming on the north side is now completed. And let's take a look at what our little retaining wall looks like. Ooh, that actually looks really good. I think this turned out really, really well for what it is. I mean, it's so simple, but the gradient going up helps it a ton. If this was just a stone wall, it would look so bad. But I think having the tuff at the bottom and then the normal stone all the way up at the top makes this look really, really good. Now though, we need to go way over here and start working on the way bigger part. My game is lagging a little bit. There we go. Load in the chunks, please, before I hit an invisible wall of some sort. This one, we're gonna also need to do 2 bridges on total. This first one, a kind of small, at least height-wise one, over this little overpass. This could be something as simple as just doing a land bridge with a normal train and just having it fill in all of the stuff below. I'll at least consider it. I may do it in a creative world to test what it looks like. But then the other bridge way over here is going to be way more challenging. This, however, I didn't even think about what we have to do here. This needs to be like a dirt land bridge, probably. Maybe even gravel would work, because way over near Bubby's base, we have a gravel one, and I think that actually works pretty okay. And then again, the main part of this is going to be getting supports up and underneath the bridge, or the, I don't even know what you would call this. Outcropping? The outcropping here, and then we need to fix the stuff floating in the sky. That's going to be a big change that we're going to need to do, but it honestly shouldn't take too long. I think the hardest part is going to be the supports underneath this thing and making it not look stupid. Like, what are these? So let's get started on this process. I don't even know where to start, but we're gonna get started. So let's see how we go. You're only seeing about 1/10 of the work that we actually put into this, but for about 1,000 times on repeat, I was doing what you're seeing here. A lot of filling in holes, a lot of filling in cliff sides underneath the tracks, and then we got to filling in just a bunch of wacky terrain gen above the tracks that I didn't even like take part in. This wasn't me. This is just a weird cave system that was doing weird stuff. We also needed to take out a bunch of land just above the tracks that was floating there, and we needed to make cliff sides all over the place. Woo! We are just over halfway done, and probably more than that, I'm gonna be honest. I have been building for probably 10 hours total. I don't know. A lot of hours, and we have gotten quite a ways, but let me go all the way back to show you the progress we made, because it is so late. I'm so tired, and it is day 2 of me doing this. And I think I'm getting better at terraining, which is really good, because I don't think I was very good at it before. And this has all been manual. I have not done any schematics for anything, but you can see here, we have made a ton of progress. So first and foremost, we now have an arch thing going around here. I think this is better than my one over near my actual base with the limestone. I think it's more archy, even though like this is a little flat, but having this be arched looked weird, so I just kept it. And then as you're flying around, it also looks pretty good. It's like a weird limb. I'm not really sure what's wrong with it. The main thing we care about is from the train tracks, and it looks pretty darn cool from down here. So I'm not too sad about it. Maybe in the future we can get better arches, and from over here it looks pretty good as well. So that's kind of what we care about. I've also like touched up these little arches so that they look okay from afar and from the train tracks. I can't physically land on a tree, but like they're kind of archy. This is weird terrain gen, but that was there before me, so I'm gonna leave it to be. The main part that we've worked on though is under the tracks here. You could see I have apparently not gone back and I've missed a few spots, but I'm getting a lot faster at this type of terraforming and am way better at it now. So I'm actually going back and finding things that I will want to fix. But here you can see we're kind of looping up with a little bit of a curved type of underside here. I think it does look pretty good. And then over here, we have some arches in just the normal terrain gen, which I think look cool. And then some more arches all the way to our bridge that we have not gotten to yet. I've done a little bit here and a lot up here. This took a while and it looks okay. It's not going to be seen a ton, so I'm not going to focus too long on it. And I've already spent such a long time on it. And then we went over to this side and yeah, this is gonna stay. I really, I can't even picture how to make this part look good, but honestly, I don't really mind. In here, we have some more arches. These look a little bit better. This one's a little bit thin, but just, we'll believe it. And then this one I actually really like. I think this one turned out the best out of the 3 that I've made so far. And of course, there are a billion trees blocking it. But over here, you can see that is Archie. I think that looks really good. And that was the last one I made, so that means I'm improving at least. I also then went around and just with our automatic, oh, that's a big old hole. With our automatic train thing, did a bunch of dirt. This will eventually turn into grass, so we're just gonna wait for that to happen. But if we continue around, you can see I've done a little bit of ice sculpting there, and the same over here, just so that it meshes pretty well. And I think at least most of it is hard to tell, which is exactly what we were looking for. This little area I touched up as well, and then this is the part that I was working on just now, and probably my favorite part of the whole thing. Oh, baby, it's looking so good. Oh, okay, it definitely looks better from above, but that's honestly where you're gonna be seeing it. This looks so cool. This is really good, I think, and is such a dramatic change from over there. I mean, that's what 10 hours of terraforming does to you. You'll improve pretty quickly, especially if you're doing it consistently the whole time. So you can see I have kind of, let me land. I have kind of ended our thing here. I have increased the height of this thing a crazy amount to get through the ice area, and I have already started working on this. I'm not yet done. And then we still have 1, 2.5 things to go before we can get to the dirt layers, which will be automated. I already have this thing set up for our automated dirt layers, which is great, but then we still need to do above over in this area anyway, and I need to remove this thing. This thing's horrible, but we're getting there. We have a little bit more to do on the terraforming side. I am going to finish up this little bit, and then we can get back into making some bridges. I think we technically need 3. I was wrong saying we needed 2 before. We have 1 over this way, our massive bridge over there, and then the one where it goes from Bubby's base over to the new track that we're laying here. Still a lot to do. Let's finish up the terraforming. 4 more hours worth of work. We are done. The terraforming, that is it. So we still have a lot to do. However, this is looking so much better. Our massive drill thing has been a huge help, mostly in this section over here that I'll show you. Yeah, this loopy area up from kind of our flat bit here all the way up to the mountains has been helped a lot with our auto placement thing. We've burned through a ton of dirt and even more andesite, and as you can see, we have done a ton of terraforming here. I think it's okay. I think it could be better. I don't know how to make it better other than just doing it more times, but we have terraformed so much of this thing. This is all terraformed. This has been terraformed because this used to be a mountain that went up there and looked ugly. This, obviously, as you've seen, if you don't remember, I think it was right here, there used to be a weird little building zombie spawner house thing with copper on the roof. That is now just mountain. We have terraformed this whole thing. We've added another layer of grass. This is not the original level. We've done wall terraforming up here, and as you've seen the one below, I've done a little bit of work just right here to clean up some of the stuff, and we have done all of this wall terraforming here. This part took so long. It's insane how much time just like normal world gen would take. Like, I'm actually gonna redo this a little bit. This is too many. I have over detailed some parts and under detailed others, so I'm filling this in hopes that this fixes it. We'll see if it does. That's my last piece of andesite. Well, I'm taking this one. Yoink. So yeah, I've over detailed some spots and under detailed others, but overall, I think it's pretty okay. And the more important part is that it's not just a wall of ice anymore. It's not just ugly. It's not just mined out by a thing, and it actually looks okay. The next part, this little area used to be way more spiky and way more gross, and then the part that I told you I wasn't gonna fix because I didn't know how to fix it, I fixed it. And I think this one actually looks really good. This was the last of the ice ones that I did, and I think it looks the best out of all of them. Which, I mean, practice makes you better at stuff. I can't stress this enough. If this episode has taught you anything, we started out way over there. Like, that looks kind of bad. I ain't gonna lie. This looks better. We got little ice spikes dangling down. I copied that from up there. This is actually brilliant. Good work on whatever world gen thing we're using in this, because I would not have thought of ice little bits. I wouldn't have thought of this either, but I don't think this looks good. And then we just have our normal kind of terraforming bits, but those ice spikes help a lot. So we are done with the terraforming. That is 90% of it. I'm gonna say this, just blocks being placed wise. I placed 25, 30,000 andesite blocks by hand. That's most of the blocks out of the way. We need to do the bridge over this thing. I mean, most of it is not over water. I may do gravel. I think that will look plenty good and take me so much less time than figuring out a sloping down diagonal, not diagonal, thankfully, but a sloping down bridge that goes down, what, 5 blocks over a span of 3,000 or something? So I think we may just do that. It'll mesh up with the current gravel that we have. I mean, we could obviously replace it just with andesite, and I think that would look good still, but I think we're gonna test it in creative, and then I'll decide what we do in survival for all of you so you don't have to watch me struggle. And then I've already gotten an idea of what we want for this one. I don't know if you've ever seen one of them old train tracks that goes across a massive gorge thing, and there's like that steam train on it, and it's like a wood bridge that looks like it's gonna fall apart at any moment. That is absolutely what we're doing here. This is like the most gorgy of bridges. If gorge is a verb, what word tense? I don't care. But if this is the most gorgy bridgey ever, so we got to make it a gorgy bridge. I just don't know what a gorgy bridge looks like, so we're gonna have to do a lot of research and building into that. I think there's gonna be a bunch of X's in it. I don't know yet. We need to do it in Minecraft, so it'll look obviously different than real life. And then the final bridge that we need to do, once I fly over here, I have burned probably like 5 stacks of gunpowder from rockets from flying back and forth in this thing. And I think overall, it has taken me 15 or 16 hours to do all the terraforming, which I hate to say it, isn't that much time for the amount of work that was completed. The last bridge we have is this one. And again, I'm thinking maybe we just do automated bridge and have it look like it's filled in, because it is filled in. But again, I'm gonna see how it looks and we'll decide from there. If not, I am totally copying what we have over there with the little circles that we have, because I think that'll look really good. So it's gonna be simple. This one's gonna be doable. I have a plan. I have a proof of concept that we already have built and that I can copy from and change the block palette, and it'll look great. So now it's bridge building time. Let's get into bridge building time lapse numero uno for, let's do this one first. I'm thinking this one is going to be I'll say it now. I think this one's gonna be the easiest to build quickly and it still look good. I'm really in the air on the other two. Let's build this one first. Let's see how it looks, and then we can get to the other bridges. But it's time-lapse time, so let's get into it. Okay, it's not anything special, but it's a bridge that workies now, and it's not floating. And more importantly, it's not the automated thing that would just fill in the whole thing. So it's better than nothing. It could be better. It could be better. It's okay. But this isn't the focus of the video. I don't care about this bridge. I'm forgetting it the second we turn our eyes to it. What's going on? We were gonna make more bridges. And we have 2 more to do. They are a lot of work, a lot of designing, at least these 2 probably are. And what I'm mostly talking about is this one, since it's so large and needs to cross quite a tall area, honestly. For the bridges that I've done so far, most of them have been pretty low to the ground, and this one is way up in the sky and is also pretty darn wide. I mean, this is what, 7 or 8 blocks wide? So it's pretty big. We need to do a lot of work to make this thing look good. I'm thinking, I think I mentioned this, like the old train ones that got like the arches or something on it so that it will hold itself up. I don't want a lot over the top because I want to be able to see our trains crossing this bridge, but we're not doing this one first. Instead, we're gonna come over here and do this one, since this one's gonna be a little bit easier to work on. So yeah, this one is going to be pretty easy. We're gonna have a bridge here just over this little bit of water, so it's not too much, and then a small one there that is honestly probably going to be a little bit difficult to do, since there's not a lot of clearance between the train tracks and the water. So I'm thinking we do like a kind of weird looking one that goes like that a little bit and then curves back down to match up with the gravel here. I am going to remove all this temporary andesite stuff. I may even switch out the gravel for andesite, but we can do that automatically if we so choose later on. So I'm not gonna really focus on it right now, but we may do that in a minute. I could also just do grass, since that is kind of the theme of this area, but I want to do a slightly different transition for this little bridge thing here. I think instead of doing a time lapse, let's just spin around, and here is our bridge. It's not going to look great because currently it's not connected on the other side, but over on this side, I'm thinking we do just the normal auto train placement of blocks, since it's not too high up. It's just going to be like 1 or 2 blocks the whole way, so I don't think making a bridge is necessary. But we have our bridge here. It is a super simple design, and yeah, the train tracks are not perfectly level. And I'm gonna blame Madden, because he did this one and mine looks better on this one, so we're keeping it like it is. Let's go, baby. No, but seriously, I can't be bothered. It would be so difficult to keep these two exactly flat, so I'm just leaving it. And from any other angle, it's pretty much impossible to tell. So I'm not super worried about it. Next up, we have this one over here, and this was a little bit harder. I think I'm still gonna do the kind of circle bridges. I mean, Old Faithful, you know what I'm saying? Why break it when it's not broken in itself? And we're just gonna keep beating it into the ground until it dies. But no time lapse, it's already done. Right here. Old Faithful, some more Archies, some more thingies. I think it looks pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. It definitely looks better than our first draft over there. I think it's just because these arches are higher up. So honestly, that's gonna be how it goes. I think it looks pretty good. Bubby can fight me IRL if he doesn't like it next to his base, but I'm building the tracks, so you can't fight me that hard. We actually do live at least within driving distance of each other, so he could pull up and we could box each other if we wanted to. I really don't want to box him. He's like a 60-year-old, so I think that would just be abuse of my elders. Enough faffing about. We have the final one, and you could see only the top of my head. We have the final bridge that we have to get done, and this thing is going to be massive. I hope it's gonna look good. I really still don't know what it's gonna look like. I'm hoping I can make it be a good job. But let's get to building this bridge. This one's gonna be a time lapse, because I mean, it's massive. It's gotta be. Let's get going. The bridge is done, and I honestly think, officially now, I tried to fly without my elytra, officially now, the railway is done, but this bridge looks so good. I'm very glad about how this turned out. It's not entirely, like, old train track bridge vibes, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. We have 2 arches here, because having one really big and wide one would have looked good if this was a taller thing, but it's just not tall enough. So having 2, I think, makes a really good combination and compromise between the 2. And if we go into our free cam, I mean, it just makes it look super cool. From the looks of it, any like wood, I did copy a metal bridge to kind of have this vibe and then switched it with wood because I think it would look better. But everyone had these like big things of stone, and I actually need to put some tuff there. I forgot to do that. But they all have these like things just to hold it into the ground. And I think those add a lot of realism and add a lot of weight to the bottom. Because I think if these just went into the floor, it would feel like it is pretty rickety, but now they just seem sturdy. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. Let me grab some tuff and we can put it under here. There we go. Already, that's a lot better. And these are unintentional mob farms. So whoopsies, let's turn on my sight. Yeah, here's one guy, and he's never gonna despawn because he has a thing in his hand. But I mean, just making that go into the ground makes that look so much better and so much more firm. But we, I think, are officially done the train tracks. I am, of course, going to steal one of Bubby's trains and take a full trip around this area. But let's quickly go through everything that we've done in this episode. At the beginning of this episode, this train track went this way, around here, over this little water thing, through here, cut down this whole area, through this way. It was horrible. We've moved it all up to this like kind of windy windy in the mountains thing. We built a bridge over here. I mean, we even built a bridge way over here that I didn't even talk about that much. We built this bridge. I've also automated the placement in the center with a bunch of andesite, and then we have some dirt over there because I think that would have looked better, and it looks quite good. We have our bridges here that we built. We have terraformed all of these walls and underneath the train tracks themselves so that they all look good and are built into the land themselves instead of just being hanging in the abyss like Fimir's ones. That's a threat to Fimir. He's gotta work on it. Time to get grinding. We terraformed all of this. This used to be just full ice biome lands, and we made it look so much better. We added a bunch of dirt. We added a bunch of terraforming. We added a bunch of windy windies. We did so much in this episode. Oh, and we also did it on the north side too. We haven't even talked about that for such a long time, but we've done a ton of work on this in this episode. And I think we gotta set up a train. We gotta automate it so that it will go to all the train stations. It'll go everywhere. It can give us whatever. And I'm gonna make it look bad so that Madden and Bubby have to fix it. And I'll finally get them online to play the game. At least that's the hope. Or what I can do, because I know that there is a Bubby train over here. Oh, there's no like caboose. But what I can do, I think. There we go, rotate it around. Let's take this thing for a spin. Let's see what this looks like. Let me turn on shaders and make it a cinematic for y'all, because YouTuber, whatever. And let's make it look good.